I'm so stressed out.
I'm so nervous now.
You don't have to be nervous.
Not nervous.
I am.
Sweaty palms.
Check 1, 2.
It's not working.
I'm trying. It worked like.
It's not working.
It is. It's just the connection situation I'm working on here.
Cold Harbor Brewing.
It's in Westboro.
Yeah, I got it. They have good stuff besides this?
I've only had 2 of their beers. I've had this, and they had an IPA called Indian Summer, which was okay.
It's not receiving connection from the encoder, it's saying.
They have a lot more beers on tap. There's only 2 cans they've ever done.
Is that good for it?
It just shakes up all the goodies in the bottom.
Is that good for it?
The light's not on.
So they can hear us. It's just a matter of. So, I think just a technical glitch here on the video side.
Oh, well, hi everyone. We're still working through some technical challenges. Give us a few moments.
The, how do you say, the dangers of live TV.
There you go, exactly.
You never know what will happen.
Oh, the light's on, though.
Oh, the light's on. It's blue.
So you're into
Dangers of live TV.
Uh-huh.
There you go, exactly.
You never know.
All right, we got
Oh, the light's on, though.
Hey,
All right, we're live.
Yes, you are.
finally. Live to the world.
Ah,
Hey, everyone. How are you doing? My name is Jason Brown, Director of Product Marketing here at Actifio.
we're live. And I'm Jay Livens, I'm Senior Director of Product Marketing at Actifio.
So welcome to the first ever Actifio On-Tech. So what we're trying to do here is do like a 15-minute segment on the top 3 issues or things we've seen in tech that were interesting in the past week. While we do it, we're going to have a craft beer as well because it's Friday. Why not? And
Added bonus, you got to have the beer.
Today we're having Mustache from Cold Harbor Brewing, which is local to near my hometown out west, Westboro, Massachusetts. And it's an oatmeal stout with cold brewed coffee provided by Armino Coffee Roasters.
Nice.
So we're going to crack this and then get started. So the first thing, Jay, I'll say, is that I finally saw my first Model 3. So I mean, and I saw it, and it looked pretty nice. And then on top of that, I saw that Tesla has a goal to ramp up production pretty significantly. So by the end of this week, they're trying to get to 3,500 Model 3s per week built and out the door. And they actually want to get it to 5,000 by the end of June. And that's actually up from 2,200 that it's currently doing at the end of April.
Right.
So I'm wondering what you think. That it's great that they can pump these out because I know that the wait list for Tesla 3s is humongous. I did not put a down payment on. You put down payment?
I wish I did. Nope. Afraid not.
I saw how long the wait was, and I was just like, forget about it. Cheers. Cheers. That has a lot of coffee in it. Whew. So, like I said, we're trying to ramp up production. We have a big goal, but my question is, by ramping up production this fast so soon, will it hurt production of these vehicles? Will it hurt the quality of these vehicles? And we know Teslas are quality vehicles, right? They have a lot of pride in their quality of their workmanship. Will this affect it?
Well, so the interesting thing about that is that the initial reviews that I read, I even watched a video of a guy who was a business breaks down cars, meaning for other vendors for competitive purposes. And basically what he said was some of the things like panel gaps and such were really bad. Like really bad, like worse than Kia, worse than any low end, like back from the 80s. These are quality.
On Model 3s.
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Now, Tesla wouldn't acknowledge that, but they did say there have been a lot of improvements and that there have been, as part of this ramp, improving their quality. I would add that I saw one too, but literally it was parked. So my son and I walked around it and inspected it and looked at all the panel gaps and everything. There were a few things that I was kind of thinking, I don't know about that. But overall, I thought it was fine. I still have a little bit of a hard time with the fact that there's no gauge cluster. Only the gauge in the middle, that's it. I just don't like that. But, we'll see. I think they'll get it sorted out, but it's, interesting.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm interested to see them up close as well. I haven't gotten the chance yet. I've checked out the Model X's, and those look pretty sweet.
They do.
Our CEO has one, I found out the other day. So I've checked that out in the parking lot here. And hopefully the Model 3s will be up to standard as well.
Yes, nice. So the next thing that came to mind this week was net neutrality. I still, for the life of me, cannot figure out why we killed it. I know the FCC did that for whatever reason, and maybe it's business, big business, who knows, but it's curious. But what happened was this week the Senate passed a bill that would accept or bring back net neutrality. Now, all the Democrats supported it, and 3 Republicans supported it. So it won at a vote of 52 to 47. Now, it's a bit of a long process because then you have to go to the House and you have to then get signed by the president. But, what's your thoughts on that? I don't quite know what to make of it.
Yeah, so listen, this isn't a political show, obviously.
No.
But for me as a consumer, I feel like net neutrality is a good thing.
Great.
And I was very confused, like you were, when we saw that the FCC decided to essentially end it, and the president signed off on it, and I was wondering, well, what does that really mean for me, right? Is it a privacy thing? Is it a cost thing? It feels like it encompasses a lot of things that could affect me, and I don't really want those things to happen. So I am in favor of net neutrality, and hopefully it gets passed, and maybe they just realize that this was a mistake. I also heard on the radio, I think, that about 80% of the people out there in the world, or in the US, support net neutrality.
Right.
And so they're putting a lot of pressure on the Senate and the House, of course, and hence why I think we've seen, these votes come to fruition, and hopefully it continues.
Yeah, so there's 218 folks who have to vote for it in the House.
Okay.
So it's a majority vote. So they currently, so they need 218 to get there. They currently have, I think, 116 Democrats supporting it. So they need to find more than 58 votes from somewhere. So we'll see if that happens. But even then the president has to sign it, which may or may not happen.
You never know.
Yes.
We'll stay tuned on that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have an update.
Exactly.
Actifio On-Tech. So the last thing that we want to talk about today is Google Duplex. Have you heard of Google Duplex?
I think it's cool. I love that kind of stuff. I'm a techie guy at heart, as you probably know.
You are. So essentially what it is that now through Google Assistant, which you get on your phones and things like that, it can actually call like a restaurant or a hair salon, for example, and make an appointment for you or order takeout for you. So it's really automated the whole ordering process for you when you're thinking about eating or doing something from a beauty perspective or self-care. So in practice, it sounds cool. I mean, so as you know, I have a Pixel 2 XL.
Me too. Love it.
So Jay kind of convinced me to get one when I checked his out. And, before that, I also had an iPhone. I never used Siri or anything like that. I had a Samsung. I never used Samsung Help. But I found myself with this Pixel 2 now using Google Assistant a lot. What's the weather? What's the score of the Red Sox game? Things like what's traffic like?
Right.
So it's been very handy in that sense. So I find it interesting as to see the evolution of that into this Google Duplex.
Sure.
Now, I don't know if I'd necessarily use it per se, because I'm kind of old-fashioned in that sense. I'd drive a manual car if I could, never mind ordering my own stuff. But in practice, I think it definitely help a lot of people that need these types of things from an automation perspective and things like that. Now, you saw a demo of this, but you found it to be a little fishy, so tell me about that.
So I saw the demo online. They featured this last week at Google I/O. It was really, really impressive. Really good, incredibly strong voice recognition of a random person who couldn't really put a lot of heavily accented English, so I couldn't believe that it could recognize it.
Wow.
But what this article basically said was, well, wait a second. If you listen to the recordings, there's no one, it just answer with hi. No restaurant or salon answers with hi. It's hi. This is Jay, or thanks for calling ABC Salon.
Yeah, there's always some kind of recognition there, like, when I call my hair salon, yes, I have a hair salon, they go Mirage Salon.
Right, exactly.
And it's like, all right, so yeah, that's interesting.
Right, there's no background noise, and they never even, when reserving it, asked for contact information. Like, who is this? When is it? They just
what's your cell phone number, right?
So there's a big question. So the keynote suggested it was real, but when Google was asked about some of these uncertainties, there was essentially no comment. So I don't know. Could it somehow have been edited? And I'm not suggesting this is all made up by any means, but could there have been some editing or other things going on to make it seem more realistic?
I mean, as we know in our industry, right, with demos and things, they can be sanitized sometimes.
Right.
They can be canned sometimes.
Yeah.
The trouble with a live demo, as we saw at the beginning of this, right?
Exactly.
We had sound, but no video, right? So, I mean, I think Google's going to figure it out for sure. Even if it was a sanitized demo, it showed that it was working. It showed that it was making the calls.
Yeah, I agree.
And like you said, for folks that have any type of verbal issues,
sure,
whether there's an accent or whether they can't speak at all,
right?
Or maybe that you're driving your car and you can't do something, then I think it can help a lot of people. So it's really cool to see what comes next from Google.
Me too. I love that idea. But so that is really the quick end here of our first weekly Actifio On-Tech live video. Thanks, everyone. Actifio, right? With our mustache beer.
Gotta have the brand in it.
Exactly. So a couple quick reminders is that next week, Actifio will be at Pure Accelerate in San Francisco on May 22nd to the 24th.
You'll be there.
I will be there. Well, the company will be there, and I will be there.
Yeah, but you'll be there. You gotta start.
Sadly, I will not be attending next week's Actifio On-Tech, so you get Jason and a special guest star.
Stay tuned on that one.
Yes. And then there's another Actifio event coming up June 5th to 6th at our data-driven event in Miami, which is very cool and will be very fun. So encourage folks to check out either one of those events if they're in the neighborhood and stop by. Come say hi to us because we'll be there.
Yeah, not to mention the Miami one's at the Fontainebleau, which is kind of a hoity-toity place, if you know what I mean. So
sure is. With a nice beach and all that stuff. I love it.
Nice beach, nice pool. Absolutely. So look forward to seeing you at either of these events, and stay tuned for next week's Actifio On-Tech. I'm Jason.
And I'm Jay.
See you later.
Thanks.
Cheers.